Bingo.
Yeah, it's like.
You see that? I wonder if this lamp is too bright. It's hard to see. I can't tell if we're live or not.
You are. I've been telling you that. Like,
I know. I can't see the comments.
I'm seeing them. Right here.
I think you got to mute that. Hey, we're having a little technical difficulty here. I'm trying to get it figured out. Bear with me for just a minute. I'm really struggling here. Are you seeing?
Up at the top, it looks like. What are you looking for?
I want to see the comment page so I can read the comment.
I've got it right here. Do you want me just to read it to you?
Sure, hit it. Because I'm not seeing it here, but I'm going to keep looking for it. Deepest apologies for technical difficulty.
Someone asked, how is everyone adjusting to the move?
You know, the move has been, it's been great. We absolutely love it here. There's so many things about this place that are amazing. You know, I keep telling people, well, the winters are softer. And they're like, what are you talking about? You've always got snow. And it's like, yes, but it's not -30 and the wind's not blowing. So yeah, we've definitely got winter, but it is not as severe as where we were before.
The kids really love it here too.
Can you speak up again?
Yeah. Where's the screen now? Anyway, the kids have adjusted pretty well. They're really liking the schools that they're in and the activities they're involved in, and they're really loving going skiing, and that's their first year. This is their first year doing that, and they're really loving and learning that.
Yeah, I think they love it. Give me another question.
Hiding out of the woods. You have to re-click on the channel.
Oh, bingo, they're right. Yeah, that works way better.
So who saw that? That was Troy S.
Troy, thank you, sir. That worked great. I was struggling. I got lost in Hangouts. We're doing much better now.
Hey, Julie, thank you for this big compliment. Julie said that we're looking great. So, Rob can see us clear in New Hampshire.
Mr. Dirt says, geez, all those sarcastic comments, and you missed them. Hey, if we missed those sarcastic comments, that's fine. Let's now that we're here, let's get them back.
Josh was working on his hair and makeup instead of being on time. Guess who was here, sitting here at 6 o'clock, but I was waiting on this guy.
Well, doing hair like this takes a lot of time, and the makeup's not easy, so it took me a minute. But we made it.
Okay. What are you talking about today?
So we're gonna do question and answers tonight, and Miss Kim is gonna try and help us with the questions so that we don't miss a lot of those. But the one thing I wanted to talk with everybody about is kind of goals and ambitions for the year, and then field a reoccurring question. I seem to get it a lot of emails, comments from people that ask questions like, how how did you learn to do that? Or how did you decide to go do that? Or it's people that may feel overwhelmed by the idea of moving out to the country and living a more rural life, wherever that may be. So I wanted to kind of talk about that tonight in regards to developing those skills, because I didn't always know how to build a house. I didn't always know how to run a sawmill. I wasn't always able to run a chainsaw, but I through doing different things, participating in different activities and different organizations, I learned a lot of skills that have given me the confidence to come out and do all of these things that we're up to. And not all of those am I good at. I'm still got a lot of skills that I need to develop and sharpen.
So Lee Haynes says, building my chalet style log cabin siding in the North Carolina mountains soon. Love to see roof style systems sometimes, or roof systems sometimes.
So that's interesting, because we're building this house right now, and we're going to be putting the roof on here shortly. I hope we can get some snow to stop for a little while. We'll get the trusses delivered, and we'll be building the roof, and hopefully we'll be looking at some of those roof styles at that point and putting out some videos on them.
And Denise says hi. So hi, Denise. Dirt Patch asked if you are planning on any classes in the near future.
Yes, we've got some stuff coming up. I don't know if I want to announce that right now until the website is up, but we're going to do a spring get together in northern Idaho. Spring.
Oh. I was thinking summer.
Isn't May spring? Is May summer?
I thought it was June. The kids don't even get out of school here until June 8th.
Holy cow. So springish summer, end of spring, early summer. Summer, okay. Yes, we are going to do some classes and some hands-on activities, and a lot of people that are coming up to visit for the summer and to look for property and take a look around. We're putting something together, and there'll be more on that in the near future.
Somebody said, will you build it? Oh, Grumpy Goat said, will you build in Athol, Idaho?
I would build in Athol, Idaho.
I actually really, really love it. Josh has considered communicating with the mayor, seeing if we could change the name. But no, it's awesome.
Athol's not my favorite name, but I love the location. We've spent time with friends down there and really like that area. So
Denise asked, when are you starting your house? That's been a question from a lot of people.
So what we're waiting on is, because we didn't get a jump start last year, like getting in a foundation or getting in roads and utilities, we are at the mercy of the weather. And what we've got all the snow on the ground now, and so we could get out there in the snow while things are frozen and do some stuff, but we've still got trees to clear and roads to put in. So we're probably going to end up waiting until the end of the mud season. So we'll get through winter, get through spring, and then as soon as it starts to dry out enough where we can get in without just making a mess of the place, then we'll get started on our property.
Mr. Dirt wants to know how much chuck could a woodchuck chuck?
No, that's a fair question. I don't know if Mr. Dirt is.
I can't believe you can entertain that.
I was gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
I was gonna roll with it. Hey, so hold on, let me finish this one. So, Mr. Dirt, my middle name is Charles, and which is, Chuck would work. So I could chuck a lot of wood. I hope that helps. Hope that was informative for you.
Kyle Rice said, really like the building videos. Hope we can do some business.
James, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
And then AZ Transplant said, just bought a temper tent, and I've been wanting to know about your wood stove pipe setup, size, stove, jack, height, etc.
Oh, so on our Army tent, we had a 6-inch stove pipe, and it went through the roof, and there was a kind of a stretchy rubber collar that went around that stove pipe. And so we went with a double wall pipe, and it worked really well until we got some stuff kind of backed up in the top screen, and ended up getting a bunch of hot sparks and things on the top of the tent, and melted some of the put a few spark burn holes in the top of the tent. So I would tell you at the top of your tent to take the pipe up as high as you can to get it away from any of those sparks, any that might come out of the top, an opportunity to blow away before they burn a hole in the top of the tent.
And Julie James said, I enjoy the detailed construction videos. Will they continue? You are educating me about what I need to know to have a contractor build a house for me. So will they continue?
Yes, for sure. As we do, I mean, I love building, absolutely love building. I don't care if it's putting Legos together or sticks or bricks, it doesn't matter. But there will always be construction stuff, because that's what I love. That's what I'm passionate about. And that's what I want to share. And I've really enjoyed it, putting it out there. It's amazing from a lot of you guys. I get a lot of positive feedback and new creative ideas. So as much as I get to share, I feel like I'm learning from you guys just as much.
And Swamp Creek Cabin said, hi, Josh and Kim.
Swamp Creek, good to hear from you guys. Hopefully we're going to get you up this direction sometime this summer.
Somebody said the volume is breaking up, but hopefully that's not still happening. Let's see. Oh, I was wrong. Mr. Dirt said June is definitely spring up there.
Okay.
He's got your back.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hidden Rock Ridge said, what's the key to getting contractors to show up? Having a tough time getting return phone calls. It's just so busy.
Yeah. So who was that one? I missed that one.
That was Hidden Rock Ridge.
So what we're finding right now is everybody up here is already, the good guys are scheduled out 2 years. We're new in town, and even we're busy. And so I think it's if you've got a plan to try and build a house in one summer season, you had probably better plan on 2 summer seasons to get your house built. The way that things are going around here, everybody is just slammed, and they are super, super busy.
And Denise said, what animals do you guys want on your homestead?
So the kids are, they've kind of all got their wish list. And I think right now it is chickens, pigs, and sheep. And I think that's a good place to start before we move to a cow or, multiple cows or something else. I think we'll start small.
We've gotten some tips from our friends over at Grass-Fed Homestead, and they prefer sheep over goats, and so we're learning a lot from them. We also, our breakfast this morning was delicious. They sent us home with some of their fresh eggs, and I cannot wait to have.
They were amazing. So having our place set up and being able to collect our own eggs is something we are really looking forward to.
Scott Bryan, this is me maybe not understanding guy lingo, or maybe it's
Scott Bryan.
He said, "Do you tap maple trees?"
I do not tap maple trees. That's not an innuendo. That's, you actually tap a maple tree.
Okay, I just
for the maple.
Okay, I'm just.
Yeah, I do not, sir. I do not tap maple trees.
Okay, James. Oh, how do you say his last name? Leedsma.
Okay, let's go with that.
Leedsma. He said, "You're welcome. I enjoy your videos. Homeless in Santa Clara, so it keeps me from freaking giving up." Hey, we've got to figure out something to fix that, James. We really, really appreciate you watching. Send us an email. Let's chat. Let's see. Lee Haynes says, when building and snows before the roof on, does the snow hurt the subfloor? I would like to know the same thing. I'm always like,
so no, that subfloor is going to see a lot of traffic before that house is finished. And because we were building this time of year, we ordered an upgraded 3/4 inch flooring that has a marine grade wax on it. So that wax is going to help protect that floor from the moisture and the water and some of that high traffic before we get a roof over it and get it closed in. So we were aware of it, and to hedge our bet, we bought an upgraded material with that marine grade wax, and so far it's been great. I haven't seen with the snow we've had in the water, I haven't seen any swelling or anything. It's holding up really well so far.
Curtis Westsale said, did you buy that land you did the soil test on? It looked amazing.
Soil.
The perk test.
The perk test. Yes. There's so many with between different jobs and different projects. Yes, that there'll be lots more videos like that to come for sure.
In that location.
In that specific location, yes.
Did you play The Therapist in Office Space?
Office Space is a fantastic show. So which one was The Therapist? I can't remember.
I don't know, but what did somebody call you the other day? That was the guy that remember the guy in the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer videos?
Oh,
like
yeah.
The animated character.
Yeah,
and he had the beard and the fro. And
it was like spitting image. It was super funny when I looked it up. So in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the little claymation movie from way back when, there's a character that's like something Klondike or something.
Oh shoot, I wish I could remember.
I have to remember. That was funny.
Get to the farm, CZ said, it's not so much the snow as the water when it melts. Yeah. I think they're still kind of talking about that subfloor. And then somebody asked, somebody said it depends on the subfloor, how much it's going to get ruined. So. Well,
that subfloor is a quality upgraded with that marine wax coating. And truthfully, before we really warm up temperatures too much, we're going to have a roof on that place. And so then shoveling the snow out and cleaning the snow out from inside as we close the place up. I don't ever see it just sitting out there in a rainstorm or soaking for days on end. Yeah, it's got a lot of snow on it and some water, but we really haven't had any problems with it.
Kyle Rice clarified, they make subfloors that withstand weather for up to a year, and then some that start to swell shortly after they get wet. You get what you pay for.
Yeah. That's it. Yukon Cornelius. That was the
Yukon Cornelius. That's what it was. He had to look it up to show me, but
I'm like Yukon Cornelius. So I looked it up.
That's my new handle.
That's when I get a CB radio. That's going to be my handle is Yukon Cornelius.
Okay. I don't want to butcher this name, but it's something Enoch. Love your construction videos too. I am learning a lot. We are planning on building off-grid at some point, so I am learning as much as I can ahead of time.
Well, we're going to keep those coming. Stick around. There's plenty more where that came from.
Troy says hello from Virginia.
Troy, hello from Virginia. Hello to Virginia from Northern Idaho.
Swamp Creek said that maybe we could meet up and
that'd be great
in Northern Idaho. Love the snow video when you guys were skiing. Thanks, James. That's kind of what Josh and I have been talking a lot about, because yes, we are waiting to get to the homesteading portion on the new property. And so a lot of it right now is going to be his construction builds as a contractor. And so I kind of started thinking, are the people that were interested in watching our homesteading journey and the family aspect and kids and, the activity part of it, gonna not want to stick around through the construction stuff. So kind of give us your input. Just know that, we're trying to get there, and then hopefully it'll be really well-rounded with a lot of construction and animals and kids and homesteading and cooking.
Well, I think at the end of the day, we're just sharing the journey. We're just, with its ups, its downs, whatever the surprises may be. This is our life. This is what we're doing. And living a more rural lifestyle is the direction that we're moving in. And we're just sharing the journey on how we get there.
Scott Ryan said, how is the frost in your new area?
It's really not bad.
I have been amazed. I can go out at like 5 a.m. to take kids places, and it can be 4 degrees, and I can like easily scrape stuff off. Why is that?
I think it's because it's just not freezing really hard. We're just not getting really low temperatures, and a lot of days we're getting back up above freezing. Things are thawing out. It's just not. That's the beauty of this place.
Totally manageable winters.
Yeah, it's really doable. It's not as intense as it was before.
Kyle's opinion is that best subfloor out there is Advantech.
Advantech.
A little expensive, but the best.
Is it Advantex? How does it say?
It just say ADVANTEC.
Yeah, we looked at Advantex, and they are definitely the best. They were also the most expensive.
And Kyle Rice also said, coming up at the end of next month, we should try to have lunch.
That sounds great.
Email?
Yeah, send us an email. That'd be great.
Oh, this is cool. Oh my goodness, you might be able to read that name. It's not.
I'm not. That's.
Okay, so what was the greatest challenge, health related, that you had on the homestead, and how did you solve it?
So, interestingly enough, the issue. So bathrooms we took care of with a porta potty, and that solved a big problem. Then the second was showering and staying clean, and that was really tough. And we noticed in ourselves, even in the kids, that there was drier skin. There was some, greasier hair. There was I don't know.
There wasn't really too many health issues because we weren't.
Yeah,
we weren't fully off grid. I imagine that. Our biggest health issue right now is just getting to a healthier lifestyle, getting a garden, and trying to convert this guy into eating more clean and healthy and trying to sneak a vegetable in once a day.
Just once a day.
That's all I ask. But so we really haven't had. He's very, very adamant with the kids that like wear shoes and you were very careful with the axe, and because you're in our last location, we were
so far away from an hour and a half to the hospital means that safety's job 1, 2, and 3. But I going back to health issues, I think we did pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we
didn't have any major things. We never had to rush to the hospital and all that time.
We have a son, he has life-threatening nut allergies.
So that's really
severe. So we're always like, okay, we got to be extra cautious with that because we're so far away.
But we always did good at making sure that he and everybody else was aware of what he could eat and couldn't eat. And then we had obviously EpiPens hidden everywhere just in case. And we had an emergency protocol of what to do and when to do it. And so luckily we never had any issues, but we were ready for it.
Brian said, hi, Miss Kim. Hi, Brian.
Brian, I'm glad you made the live show. I was worried you weren't going to make it.
So Lee said, OMG, you call Cornelius. It's true, bro.
That is the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. Yukon Cornelius. We're gonna do T-shirts that say Yukon Cornelius.
Forging Freedom podcast channel said, "Hi there, everyone. Long time no see."
Yeah. There's one. I'm looking at one here that's why don't you do a basement in the house you are on now? Okay, so the one that we're building right now, I get this question all the time. Why didn't we put in a basement? A basement would be fantastic. You're absolutely right. The issue in that area is the water table. And so we could dig down, but that basement would be full of water 8 months out of the year. And pumping with the amount of groundwater and how much groundwater there is would just not be an option. So to avoid the headaches, these folks went with a crawl space, and then we've gone with attic trusses. And so that's going to give them space up in the room or up in the roof, up in those attic trusses, where they'll pick up a lot more square footage that they lost from not having a basement. And it'll be space that they won't have to worry about being flooded. So hopefully that kind of answers the question.
Kaylee Steenek, they pronounced their name for me. That really helped. Thank you. And James asked, what do you think of the Red Poppy Ranch place? I think he made a mistake when he put the siding on that way. I like the way you were going to do it better. I'll just speak to that for just a quick minute and then I'll let Josh. But being there on site, you get such a different perspective than the very small peephole that you see in watching a few of his videos. It's I don't think people realized that there was going to be a massive roof that went way out over that entire area. And it was a really tall building. If he had ran everything straight vertical, it would have looked like an elevator shaft. I mean, it was, so there were some things there, and I think he corrected it, and I think it looks beautiful, but I'll let you speak to it.
So I have this argument with homeowners all the time when we're building houses for people. There's always good, better, best. For example, on our floor sheeting, we could have paid $55 a sheet for Advantex sheeting, but we found a product that had a marine coating and was protected, and it was $35 for a sheet. And so, applying that to Red Poppy Ranch, I like what he did. I like the look of it. And is that the very best way to put siding on a house or waterproof your house? Maybe not. But I think for him, the look that he wanted and what he's going for, I think it's going to be just fine. Especially,
I think he used the overlapping.
Yeah.
Where it,
and by the time, I think that's the other thing is people don't see that he's got porches planned on both sides of the houses. I think those porches are going to be ending up wrapping around all the way around the house, and that all of that shiplap stuff is going to be covered by a porch, and he'll have great protection on the upper levels with a board and batten. So I don't know. There's been a lot of back and forth, and the Red Poppy does awesome work. The guy is an inspiration. I mean, he's such a hard worker. I like everything he does.
Lee said, "Love the live Q&A and videos. It's so appreciated." Thank you, Lee. And then Jay Johnson said, "When is the next beard trim?"
So we just barely had one. We just had one.
Ferocious on the sides. I don't mind the bottom, but this out here just keep. Oh.
Not so we just barely had a trim, and
it's in the last video, this last skiing video.
In the last skiing video, we ran a weed whacker over my face and got it cleaned up a little bit.
Went to a charming little barber shop here in town. Let's see. Eduardo 88. Hello from Southwest Michigan. Were your parents farmers or homesteaders? That's a good question.
That's great. So I'm going back. My family. So I was born in Wyoming, up at the very top of the state, right in the middle of the state on the Montana border, in a little town called Sheridan. And my dad's grandfather was an immigrant, and they came and homesteaded in that area. And then my grandfather, my dad's dad, ranched out there his entire life. And then, I grew up in the city with my dad, but he had grown up on the farm. And I've always wanted to get back to a more rural lifestyle. And I don't know if that was growing up and hearing the stories, but spending time out on the ranch and hunting and doing those things as a kid. I always loved the outdoors and wanted that rural lifestyle. So yes, a lot of homesteaders in the family tree, and I'm excited to be getting back to this simpler. I don't know if simpler is the right word. To a more natural, more rural lifestyle. People say simpler, but I mean it's simpler to just sit on the couch and watch TV. So hopefully that answers your question.
Jay Coach says, why didn't you do a basement in the house you are on now? Well, he's addressed that in quite a few videos, but if you missed that part.
It's just there was a water table issue, and homeowners decided they didn't want to have to fight possible flooding, so we went with attic trusses.
Lee says he'll buy a t-shirt of you complimenting.
Okay. I'll get to work on t-shirts.
Somebody said, are you guys anywhere near Pure Living for Life? And when you guys help them, or will you guys help them build their timber frame home? I'm a little busy.
Well, yeah, we're a little bit busy. So Pure Living for Life is just down the street, and when I get some free time, I'm gonna bake some cookies and go over and knock on their door as soon as they get a door, and hopefully we'll probably bump into them at some point. But I'm sure they're busy, and we're really busy between work and family and trying to build our own home. So I don't have a whole lot of plans for heading over to hang out with Uncle Jesse.
He's okay. So Anita Logan says, Eduardo 88. I don't think either of them are old enough to remember Burl Ives, but Josh does look like him.
I don't know who that guy is, but he sounds awesome.
Let's see. Do you want to know what general part of Idaho we're in?
So we're in northern. We're in the Great Lakes area, as it were. There is so much stinking water up here. It is awesome.
Lee asked, in my chalet, what waterproofing is recommended? I want the best.
For what we're building a house?
Yeah, chalet.
Oh, but we're not. We're just doing. Are we waterproofing walls, or are we waterproofing the foundation?
Maybe he'll get back to us. Idaho Hillbilly said howdy.
Idaho Hillbilly. So let me tell a funny story about Idaho Hillbilly. So I'm back in suburbia a few years ago, and I'm on the internet and I'm looking for stuff in Idaho on homesteading. And one of the first channels I come across is Idaho Hillbilly. And so I'm watching Idaho Hillbilly, and the guy is such a character. He's so much fun to watch, and he gets a ton done. So it's funny to be on the other side of the camera and have Idaho Hillbilly here watching a live show. Like that guy was making videos before I even thought about making videos.
Denise wants to know when you put in the windows and doors on the house that you're building
now. So when we'll get the roof on and the roof sheeted, and then once the roof is, well, when I say sheeted and then dried in, which is put down Grace Ice and Water Shield, but no, we won't put down the tin, and then doors and windows. So kind of the last thing to button up the house will be doors and windows.
Jay Coach said, good choice on ply, and your videos are great.
So Brian here He wants to know what's the next project we're going to work on. So I don't know if you guys are watching. We've got that house that burned down that we cleaned up and we did the earthwork on. We've gotten the foundation in, and they're starting ICF blocks. There's a crew working on that, so we'll be back out there and more videos on that project to come.
So James is saying, when it comes to insulating your building or whatever you're working on,
Yeah.
was it better to insulate the outside of the building versus the inside and then wrap it like a shirt?
I'm not sure I understand the question, but I always want it to wrap the outside with a good vapor barrier and then insulate the heck out of the inside. And this house that we're doing right now, it's got a 2x6 exterior and then 2x4 interior walls. And that's all about getting a better R value out of the envelope of the house. I don't know if that's going to answer the question or
not. Brian wants to show what is next. What is the next project to work
on? So we've got to finish up this house that we're currently working on. We've got more to come on the house that burned down. And
I think he was meaning on the current build.
Oh,
and somebody said the walls.
Well, so yeah, the trouble I have is that there's a little delay in between videos going out and where we're actually at. We're about 3 or 4 days, 5 days behind. So yeah, the next step that you'll be seeing in the video is walls, and then it'll be on to trusses and working on the roof.
Eduardo said, yes, it is what you need to do. My great-grandparents went west in a covered wagon, settled near the banks of Plum Creek. MN. That's Montana.
Right?
No.
Minnesota?
Oh.
I don't know. MN?
Montana would be.
MT. Mr. Dirt wants to know, how's the weather up here today? Today it was like 33 degrees and it snowed, and it snowed great big monster snowflakes all day.
I told Josh this morning when we went out, I was like, this, I don't mind the snow. The snow is not what bothers me at all. It's the wind and the freezing cold temperatures like we had in our last location. And here there's just, I mean, it gets cold, but there's just a lot of gorgeous snow, and when it gets in the 30s and 40s, it's just like a wonderland. It's
it's fantastic.
Pretty.
So Dan says, hey, still up for getting Joel's burrito sometime. Dan, I had a Joel's burrito the other day, a delicious breakfast burrito, and that, sir, was a fine recommendation on your part. That was one tasty burrito. So anytime you're up this direction, let me know, and we'll get together.
So someone said 4 or 5 days behind isn't bad. I follow a sailing channel. It's over 4 years behind. Wow. So that kind of brings up a thought. Josh is kind of always on my case because I have quite a bit of video footage from last year, but all the kids and all the things, my work and all the things that I do every day, I'm not really into editing and putting it all together. I don't have a whole lot of time, but my other concern has been, do people even want to see it? It's totally going to be out of chronological order. So let me know, because I know that earlier on in the channel, people were confused, like, where are you? What are you working on? Is this your place or somebody else's place? And so we want to try to keep it in chronological order, but I have a lot of cool footage that I think you should like to share. So kind of give us your opinions.
I think you should put it out there. Like I've told you, I think you got all of that.
It's just so we're in a new location, and it's like throwing up something from summer in a totally different location. It might confuse people.
Well, maybe if you put it out this summer and show a contrast, maybe do what's happening here versus what was happening there, and put them both up. But I think the footage would be great to put up.
Yeah, I mean, most of this journey is us just wanting our own personal lives documented for, family, posterity,
yeah.
And it's great that others are enjoying it. But so I kind of want it out there for that. But Can you see any others? Yes, Brian, we have Mexican food up this way.
I think that's the thing that I love most about this area, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Bonners Ferry, is that there's really remote property, but those remote properties are close to a lot of conveniences. Having to drive 2 hours to go to Costco, being able to drive over to Walmart in 10 minutes or get to Home Depot in 10 minutes, it's like winning the lottery. You don't know how sweet it is until you don't have it. So there's a lot of great restaurants, places to shop. This we're definitely remote and rural, but there's still a lot of cool conveniences here.
Food Forest Permaculture said, "Good evening. First time here. I am from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. Howdy."
Welcome to the show. Hey, so Brian says, hey, why don't you just put it down as vintage or classic essential mountain homesteading when you put out your videos?
Vintage.
Vintage.
Vintage as in, 6 months ago.
Vintage as in last year.
Denise says she's so glad you don't have a lot of wind at your current job site.
Yeah, we are really grateful for that. That is one of the things is where we were before, we would get wind all the time. Summertime, wintertime, it didn't matter. We got wind all the time.
Idaho Hillbillies said they had crazy wind today, and they're in a different part of Idaho. But we haven't had too much crazy wind here. Maybe a couple days.
So when Idaho Hillbillies down north of Boise, we went past their place. But yeah, they get crazy amounts of wind, and we haven't really had any wind here.
Yeah, it's been nice, just a couple times. Get to the Farm, CZ said, call them flashback episodes. I love that.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Please share and just state when it took place. So thank you.
Hey,
put it out there, we get bored easily. Thanks, Dan. We're not the ones making you bored.
Put it out there. Easy to please. I like that. Hey, so down the dirt road. I wish you guys would send me an email and let's go to lunch. I know you guys are here close somewhere. When you get a second, down the dirt road, send me an email and I'll get you my phone number. We'll go to lunch.
Somebody said make it clear in the title that it's from the past.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Let's see.
So Little Mountain Ranch made it. Little Mountain Ranch. Great to hear from you guys.
Well, thank you for all the feedback. I'm just reading it. For the people who gave feedback on just kind of announcing that it's, blast from the past or things like that. So I'll work on those.
Hey, down the dirt road saying they have sent us a few emails, but I haven't seen anything.
You gotta clarify because our channel name is too long. So our email is only Essential Homesteading. There's no mountain. And so essentialhomesteading@gmail.
Well, and I wonder if they're sending direct messages to YouTube. So down the dirt road, it's essentialhomesteading@gmail.com. So when you get a second, give me another chance. Send me an email, please. What do we get?
I'm building an Indian sweat lodge in my backyard. Wood-fired stove. Okay, let's see. Don't tell everybody it's awesome here. They'll move here.
Yeah, that's a real problem. I probably should. You know what? This place is horrible. It's cold. There's too many trees.
Kyle verified. He said everyone's moving in North Idaho.
For good reason. This place is awesome. Rodney, I'm glad you made it. North Louisiana. I don't think he had snow today. I don't.
You never know. It's been a crazy winter across the U.S. Mike Butterfield said, I might be moving to Montana soon just to raise me some dental floss. I don't know what that means.
Did he say raise some dental floss?
Oh, I wish I knew. Okay.
So Dan wants to know what's the plan for our place this year. So my plan is to get in the infrastructure. That would be roads and all the dirt work and clearing trees and all of that. I'd also like to get in the foundation and try to get the shell up. If I could get that done by winter, then we could continue to work through the winter inside the building. But I've got a real balancing act, trying to stay busy, working, making money, and quite frankly, this move has put us behind. It exhausted a lot of funds making the move over here. So it's going to be a good year. Right? We want to try and work as much as possible, and also try and get, if we could get our place shelled in and then finish it up through the winter. That would be, I think that'd be a huge year. Hey, so down the dirt road, they sent us Facebook. So let's talk about Facebook. We had a Facebook page that we had before the YouTube channel, and it was Essential Homesteading, just like the email. But we've got a Facebook page that is Essential Mountain Homesteading, which I apologize, it could not be more confusing. But down the dirt road, please try us over at Essential Mountain Homesteading at Facebook,
and we need to just shut down the old one. So it just does, it doesn't exist. But the old one actually had some followers. This new one, we haven't got the word out there. So
check us out on Facebook, Essential Mountain Homesteading, at Facebook, and then it's Essential Mountain Homesteading Instagram, Twitter. We're Essential Mount 4 on Twitter. You can find us on Google Plus, and did I forget one? No, that's it. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're putting out the word. So down the dirt road, I apologize. No excuses. Try me again, and I'll take you to lunch. So one more thing. Down the dirt road says, okay, you can PM me. I've tried to direct message you guys, but I can't. I've been struggling on that. But
just email works good.
Yeah.
I mean, just for our initial connection, so then you can.
Yeah, emailing us is the best way to get a hold of us. So essentialhomesteading@gmail.com.
They said, keep up the good work, enjoy the channel.
Will you type that in? Or I'll type that in.
Denise said, do you build anything other than houses?
I will build anything you want.
We build kids.
Yes, we also build children.
We build meals, like a lot. And
yes,
I feel like my day is a lot Groundhog Day. Cooking, cleaning, kids, taxi, work. Josh always has these new exciting things going on in different phases of building. And so I tease him a lot about how he gets to have more fun.
That is true. Did I get this right? And I'm going to put up the email so that everybody can see it out there.
Yeah, it looks right. Okay.
Don Quixote. Have you met Red Poppy Ranch family? Yeah, a couple of times. Yes. Yeah. So that's funny because before I even thought about sharing the journey or putting it out there or building this digital diary, I stopped in and got to hang out with Red Poppy Ranch before he had even started building, and was just clearing his property off. And so it's been fun to kind of be on the journey along with him. He's probably a year ahead of us in the journey, and the guy is so smart and has great ideas, and so it's great to reach out to him when I have questions like, hey, how did you solve this problem, or how did you solve that problem, or what did you do here, or whatever it may be. He's been great to bounce ideas off of. So
Denise said the 3rd generation waterproof guy on the current videos that he's doing.
Who's this?
Denise.
Oh yeah.
The third generation waterproof guy can help. Denise actually had to totally explain that to me. I did not catch it on the video. I did not.
The third generation.
I knew he was making some sarcasm, and I didn't get it. It was. I won't give it away, but it was hilarious.
So yes, hey, you know what? We'll take all the help we can get, Denise.
Okay. Somebody said Dan said you're ambitious. All the stuff you want to take on this year. He always does.
Well,
like that.
yeah, my thinking is I'm better to shoot for the moon and land at the top of the trees than I am to shoot for the top of the trees and not get over the grass. So we'll aim high and see what happens.
USA Patriot says, what can I tell my wife to change her mind about not wanting to move north? She claims to not like the cold. Well,
I know that. So, but let's be. That's you really need to come out and experience it, because here's the thing. Summer's going to come on, and the sun's going to come up at 4:30 in the morning, and the sun's going to be up until 10 o'clock at night. And the summers are going to be really long, big days, and it's going to be warm. And after about 8 months of that, most people are going to be sick of it.
I wouldn't say that, but I think it comes with age too. I know that my parents live in a place that's very cold in the winter, but they live there during the summer because it's beautiful, and then they snowbird and they go somewhere warm during the winter. So I get that, but Josh and I are very well insulated, and we tend to prefer the cold. My thing has always been, I can always do stuff to get warm, but when it is sweltering heat, there is nothing I can do to cool off,
Yeah.
So,
but I think the point I was trying to make was, variety is the spice of life, and the winters here are very mild. I mean, the end of January, things got up to 50 degrees. Had a little January thaw for 10 days, and temperatures were up to 50 degrees. So yeah, now it's back to snowing and it's cold, but it's not going to last very long. And we've got a ton of variety here. And I think that's the thing that I love most about living in this area. I never know if I've answered the question or if there's follow-up questions. This is tough. I'm like, I hope that's what you wanted to hear. Mike.
I'm going to have to watch the video because I'm totally not listening to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
In the questions here.
Yeah. I love it. Down the dirt road. The January thaw is the Idaho melt. So
let's see.
Magic Mike says, are all of your kids from both of you, or have either of you been married before? So we're the Brady bunch.
We got family.
Hers, mine, and ours.
So we have 7 together, which is kind of a lot of kids, and Josh doesn't want to stop.
I would like to have some more kids. I mean, if we're gonna get goats and chickens and pigs, what's wrong with raising a few extra kids?
Let's see. Down the dirt road said North Idaho has 2 winters. That's so true. And all the locals here have said that. Like, you get a good one in December, and then January kind of starts to just do nothing. And February we were in the mid 50s at the beginning of February. It was glorious. Everything had melted. We could see the grass, and then we got hit again.
What have you got for questions?
Just people saying that it's time to go for dinner, and so hi from Norway.
I can't believe it. It's funny. We get a lot of views and a lot of people that comment that are from Europe, and I've often wondered, it's got to be so different. Probably, I wonder what they're thinking as they watch these videos.
Dan says you need kids to help out as you age gracefully.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why you want a bunch of kids.
So Little Mountain Ranch has a bunch of kids too. So that's funny. Their comment is, I vote more kids.
Let's see what else. Okay, are you going to build a rocket mass heater inside your living space where you can eat your own? With heat, maybe he meant heat, with 1/10 of the firewood. Have a hot 55-gallon barrel in the house.
So
having a hot 55-gallon barrel in the house is the scary part.
So James, yes, I would like to put in a rocket mass heater, but we'd like to put in a basement in this house, and to avoid the weight of all of that rocket mass heater, I'll probably end up putting it down in the basement, so it's on a concrete floor, and pour a really thickened floor down there. But yeah, I'd really like to have one. I've been around them. I've had a chance to be around quite a few, and they are really, really, really impressive. But I don't see us heating with wood all the time. We'd like to do a radiant system, and for us, the wood stove is probably going to be more backup or emergency, and more just ambiance than actual trying to heat the entire house with it all the time.
Somebody asked if we have met Fouch Family Off Grid. Yes.
Yeah. So
one of our first.
Yeah, they are fantastic. Speaking of rocket mass heater,
theirs in their house.
The Fouches are some wonderful people, absolutely wonderful, and they were kind enough to let us come and ask about 1.5 million questions, and they were patient with us and just the nicest, kindest people. And
I didn't know if you were done. When in Idaho, we are debating moving next year and are looking up your way. I'm just not sure how the weather compares to here. When in Idaho, where is here for you guys?
Boise.
So maybe you can tell them.
So I would say come up and visit and look around. But I kind of feel like the banana belt here, with the low elevations and the environment, is got lots softer winters than Boise. That's my feeling. And I think that cost of land and what you get is, there's a lot more bang for the buck up here in this area.
Brian said, Kim, all those kids are easy for him to talk about. So true.
Hey,
that was funny.
That was hurtful, but fair.
Rodney, we really like all your comments. You've been very kind. He asked, when do you start your house? Sorry if you guys have already explained. So we did at the beginning of the video. We'll be hopefully starting it this summer.
Yeah. As soon as we get through winter and through the mud season and things start to dry out, then we're going to hit it hard.
Somebody said it's hard to get insured without fire protection and fire hydrants. I hadn't thought about that. I mean, you did fire stuff in the last location.
Yeah.
But,
so Win in Idaho says, we can't find land outside of an HOA here, or we would stay, but our options here aren't great.
That's number one driving factor.
Amen. Amen. So the beauty of this area is because they're all raw parcels and they're not typically in a subdivision, you don't have any of those type of issues of covenants, codes, and restrictions like you get in a lot of other places. But I was going to say, when in Idaho, come up and see us, and we'll look at some different properties and, talk about pros and cons and let you get a feel for the area.
Lee asked, can you recommend a waterproof coating, basement walls, exterior, below grade?
So if I was doing my own home, I would do a peel and stick, and then I would do a dimple board over the top of that, and then I would do a really impressive French drain with a lot of clean 2-inch rock, a perforated pipe with a filter sock, and then I do a lot of filter fabric over that gravel. Hopefully that kind of makes sense to you. But that's how I would do waterproofing on my own basement.
Brian said, are there a lot of HOAs up there?
No. There are a few places down by the lake or on the golf course where you can find that type of thing if that's what you're looking for. But for us, there's so very few of those HOAs in this area. We're not, we're here because we want just raw land.
Melvin said, do they have owner finance land up there?
Yeah, sure yeah, there is. There's quite a few, and it's crazy. People call me up. They're like, "Hey, we're looking for land," and I'm like, "You just got to get up here because you walk into the gas station and there's a pinup board with business cards and whatever and pieces of paper with people like 10 acres, owner financing. It's already got a septic system installed, whatever." There is a lot of off-grid properties here, which keeps the price low. And a lot of times there's some really good deals. People are like, "Hey, I just want to get out of it, and I'll take a little down payment and I'll take monthly payments so that I can move on." And so there's some real opportunities there. Definitely going to be a lot of work to develop that property. But if that's what you're looking for, it's certainly out there.
Kyle says he 100% agrees with the waterproofing recommendation. And he is in Sago, and they have CCNRs but no HOAs. And so that was actually our problem, though, because we thought the CCNRs, were just mild.
Well, nobody had done any enforcing in 30 years, and truthfully, from a legal standpoint, because nobody had enforced them, they're not really valid. But that didn't mean that people couldn't start to enforce them going forward. But we just didn't want anything to do with CCNRs or any kind of HOA, and so we decided to make the move to get to a better place. But it wasn't just that. It was, we kind of looked at the situation of the kids and school activities and some of those other things. So it was a combination of a lot of things that led us to accessibility.
Let's see. Michael Tavish was talking about wood splitters and how much he misses having a wood stove. And I bet you can't wait to get back to that wood splitter. We had a great time working with the kids and using that wood splitter. That was awesome.
Somebody just showed up to the live show and was wondering where we're at. So we're in northern Idaho. We're up by Lake Coeur d'Alene, north of Lake Coeur d'Alene, in that area.
How did you pick the name for your homestead, Denise?
So my sweet wife is the essential, because she's all about essential oils, and
other than mom, that's my life.
I wanted the mountain. I've always wanted to live in the mountains, be in the mountains. I love the mountains, so I'm the mountain. And the homesteading is building this rural life together. So that's
starting anew.
That's kind of us, Essential Mountain Homesteading.
Again, and a lot of people have asked this. Jay Coach said, "What is a CCR?"
So CCNR stands for Codes, Covenants, and Restrictions. And typically those are filed with your subdivision or your development at the time that they record it with the county. So you have to go back and see what was filed initially with it.
Well, you sign that you're okay with the CCNRs when you buy a piece of property. That is included. They do disclose that to you. We were like, oh, okay, these were written in the 70s. They've really not done a whole lot with them, or anything at all. And so we kind of we signed and we thought, not too big of a deal.
Well, the truth of the matter is nobody was enforcing them and nobody was following them. It was the Wild West out there. And I think that was,
it leaves a lot to interpretation. Like, certain people can do certain things based on the, type of land they have. It's just sticky. And so we wanted a place with no CCNRs and no HOA, so we could make our own choices.
I think that the part of the problem is you have these covenant codes and restrictions that are put in the 70s that say, hey, you can have only a 2-car garage, but you look around the neighborhood and there's a whole bunch of houses with 3- and 4-car garages. You're like, well, okay, so it looks like you can kind of do whatever you want.
Bert just joined. He said, hi, Josh.
Bert, I'm glad you made it. There's one here that's, I forgot I like the video of the helicopter. Did you go up in the thing? Was it scary?
I wanted to go. I was super bummed I didn't get to try it. I've never been in a helicopter.
So I absolutely love helicopters. And the guy that we did that homestead cleanup project on, he's got a Robinson R66. And so he took us flying. He would show up to the job to check on things as we were up there working on the project, and he would take us for flights. And so it was a lot of fun to go check out the area and go for rides in the helicopter.
Not scary.
No, it's not scary at all. No.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, just people talking amongst themselves. But Mark Hansen said, I'm moving up there next month, looking for something around Spirit Lake and Old Town. And then Dan said, watch out for the Spirit Lake Cutoff Road area.
So I'm with Dan on that one. Who's the guy that's moving up?
His name was Mark.
Mark, that area, when you come up, you got to do some driving around out there. It's got a really different feel than over there. And I would say all the way from Priest River to Spirit Lake is, the price is right in that area, but it's certainly more remote. And
Idaho Hillbilly said the same thing. He's like, oh, we know all about the Spirit Lake area.
Yeah.
You'll have to
so I would stick to the east side. There's still some great properties here north of Sandpoint, northeast of Sandpoint, where you could get a really great piece of property and not be out in that area. So maybe send me an email and I'll give you my 2 cents and maybe a couple of recommendations on some properties to look at.
We've gone for over an hour. Should we let everyone go, or what are you thinking?
Well, yeah, let's wrap it up.
Okay. I think we've kind of addressed questions.
Well, we really we love these live shows where we can answer a lot of questions really quick.
Because we really, really appreciate the support, and we love the kind, supportive comments and the ones that offer suggestions and good advice. But it is very hard. It's a lot of time to respond to each one of you. And it's not because we don't want to and that we don't see them and appreciate them. So I really like going through or doing the live question and answer so we can kind of address all of the things that you guys ask in those questions, because it's just too time consuming for him to work all day. We don't get very much of Josh right now. So he works all day. He comes home and hurry and sits down and eats, and then he's off to edit and do all sorts of social media and editing and uploading. And so to add commenting back and replying to all the questions,
it's a lot easier to sit down on a Sunday night and spend an hour with you guys and answer as many questions as we can.
But it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate your comments. So please keep commenting. It really boosts us up and gives us energy and keeps us going. So
James, thanks a bunch. We appreciate all you guys, and we'll let you go. Have a great night.
What is this from James?
James sent us $2.
I know, but from on the Awesome. That's so nice. Thank you.
Well, good night, everybody.
Good night.
This is the tricky part where I have to figure out how to shut it down. Don't say anything until it.
Should I do something super inappropriate? Okay, are we done?
No, I haven't turned it off.
Oh, stop.